Hi everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net. Today I am going to focus on my console here. Just prepping the new set of dashboards for my analytics service. Thought I'd have a little difference on the analysis for today on November 28th. So you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But I just wanted to show you some interesting things that I'm seeing today. If I can get my typing done. First, let me show you the volume. If you have seen my video yesterday, you can clearly see where the volume is. Most of it's in the SIA coin. Next up is ICX BTC, and then all the little ones. So that's off of what you call Binance. So here we are in the folder that we need to be in. The other thing that I want to show you are the movers on an hourly basis. So basically, let me just go back into this guy here. So if I show you the most profitable, it's this one. Bar. There you go. So here, as we've been talking about Litecoin, we're saying the comeback of Litecoin. Well, you can clearly see that over the last 2 days, including today, up 10.74 for Litecoin against Bitcoin, Litecoin against Ethereum. I mean, ZRX is at 822. So, despite what you see, let me just see what's the best one to. If I look at CoinMarketCap, you think that there was a bloodbath in the world of crypto. But the whole market's been up for the last 24 hours. So it's been having a really good ride. And obviously the entire space has been doing pretty good. So that's good for that. Oh, also, let me show you the most valuable. And this is now critical. I've just changed this to show the hourly charts. Okay, so if I pull this up, you can clearly see what's been happening. You'll see that we have some whipsaws happening, positions we would have done well here on ADA, BTC. Again, this is an hourly chart. ADA against Ethereum, so you can see the whipsaws coming down. You would have hoped that you would have ridden these up over each bar is, or each candle is about an hour. So you had a nice good run up on the 4 hours here, 2-3 hours prior. Here's some more ADA. ICX, this is an interesting one. This has been doing really well over the last 8 hours. That's ICX against BTC. And then we have SIA coin. Now, here's my problem with SIA coin. When things go bad, SIA can do okay, but you can clearly see when it goes up, it comes back down. And you can see the volume drivers that are driving it, quote unquote, up, but it just there's volume there, but I don't understand why it comes back down so fast. Clearly not a good coin to trade in the long run. XRP, man, this thing's been getting hit really hard lately. Been having very few opportunities to move up. The volume's there, or was there. That's what they're predicting. That XRP is supposed to overtake a volume on BTC, but I'm just not seeing it yet. But the other players I showed you are doing quite well, namely Litecoin. Okay, let's go over to the FX. So I will navigate to that. And Okay, here we are. Okay, so I'm going to go into, I said, the data for Forex. Let's check out the charts there. So again, I cleaned up the charts. I now have the ability to track the spread, the hourly charts, and the Fibonacci's as well. So let's check out the movers first. So we want this one. Okay, here we are. So here we have our usual culprits. 4 o'clock my time, November 28th. Turkish lira against the Japanese yen, New Zealand against Japanese yen. Things are loading up for the Asian markets. You can clearly see that. New Zealand against Canadian, Australian dollar against Japanese yen, Australian dollar against Canadian. But you don't see any US dollar here whatsoever. I gotta wonder why. Anyways, that's that. Let me see the volumes as well. And we want this one right here. All right, so here's our volumes. So you can clearly see that we have Australian Canadian dollar right now. Number one. Number two is the New Zealand against the Canadian dollar. I get really confused on why the Canadian dollar and the Japanese yen is in this mix, in the New Zealand Japanese yen. I mean, that's on a long-term analysis, but you can clearly see something's going on. I bet you it's something to do with the macro fundamental news. I'm sure if I went through the Bloomberg, I could probably find something that would tie all this together. And once again, we can look at the fast movers. You can see here. So here's Hong Kong Japanese yen moving on up. And it had a little few whipsaws along the way, but lately for the last 4 or 5 hours it has been moving up. The Turkish lira against the Japanese yen. This is not exactly something that excites me in the long term. This was from yesterday. The defense plays, US dollar against the Czech. This one's been really doing decently. It's been trending up. A couple of down whipsaws, but not too bad. That's the USD Huff. And then the USD Japanese yen is trending up as well. These seem to be defensive plays as well. All right, let's check out. Now here we have to check on the spread as well. This is where spread counts between bid and ask. And again, these are hourly. So you can clearly see there are going to be episodes of where, in this case, the Hong Kong against the Japanese yen, there is a spread cost, only what appears to be on the downside. Turkish lira, Japanese yen, it doesn't matter. Actually, it gets, hold on. Does it get, it's not really, seems to be tighter as it comes down, so maybe for shorting, there might be some opportunity there. But clearly on the upside, the spread's too high. US dollar against the Czech comes down, the spread tightens up, tighten up. That's a real hard one. USD Huff. You'll see the volume for this was earlier today. This is the number one. One for based on volume. Again, Forex and CFDs do come from Oanda. And here's the Japanese yen, major pair. So there's very little spread cost there. Okay, so what was the other one I wanted? Oh yeah, the fib. So let's see the fib. Well, let me show you. I think I showed you the volume. Yeah, so there's the volume. And then the FX fib. Okay, here's the FX fib stuff, Fibonacci's. Again, some of these are just too tight. They don't move a lot. Here's the Hong Kong Japanese yen as an example. Here, shorting opportunity, Turkish against the Japanese yen minus spread cost. Once again, the US check is the same, too tight. Here's an interesting one, and I can see why this volume has been pretty strong as it has trended up in the later parts. There is some volatility, but still trends up. So I can see why. Now, here's the Japanese US dollar against the Japanese yen. There's no movement, so people will add the leverage quite a bit to get some form of move. But I don't see any difference between that and fighting spread cost. Personally, I think doing this, trying to work against the spread cost is a lot easier than leveraging. All right, so let's look at the CFD stuff. And here's a new set of charts here. This is quite interesting. We had some of the Fed Powell, Fed Chair speak today. The markets did pop as well. Earlier today, we also had Bank of England governor speak about UK prospects if hard Brexit does come. So let's check out first the volume. So we want volume here. All right, so number one was gold against USD, NASDAQ, and I'll show you why, and then that ratio, the gold against silver. Number four was the US top 30. Interesting, the US 2000, Russell 2000 up, and these two, oil was 6 and 7. I think those are definite shorting opportunities. Let me show you there. Okay, so when you look at the most profitable for CFD, this is where money was to be made today. Right here. NASDAQ was a good place to be in, 4.66% up. That's in the last hour. US 3.34, the US 2000. And then on the flip side, you can see here gold's down, gold and the silver slightly up, but clearly the money was to be made here in the US indices, NASDAQ, US top 30, Russell 2000. Not only that, but you probably could have done really well on the shorting side for WTI oil and Brent crude as well, down for 5.5 and 4.99. This chart right here is where money was to be made. Coming back to our most profitable of the day was this. Okay. So here's one. Look at this. This is last 3 hours. Powell, Fed Chair, speaks, and it just moves up, just gaps up like crazy. Same on the US 2000, Russell 2000. It gapped up really well too. Here you can clearly see that volume is starting to taper off. It's dropped off here. It's not strong, which I can guarantee you if we track this later on, that volume may drop off unless Asia opens up quite well. And when you look at the top 30 for the US as well, it's gapped up quite nice. Here's the gold. No, this is a weird trade. It moved up as well. That is bizarre. And here we have the ratio. It's just been down, down, down. And shorting, I wouldn't take this trade at all because of the amount of gaps. Or sorry, the amount of whipsaws as well. So that's pretty well what everything stands overall with the markets. I'm going to put up a new tour walking tour of the analytics as well. Now that we've cleaned up all these charts, and I'm just going to clean up the dashboard stuff as well. So be on the lookout for that. Talk to you later.